Tout de bleu vêtu, de grands standards sur tous les jeux, c'est l'entrée des prestigieux. Elite, Martine, Sadak, Sugetsu, Avez, Stella Carmine, go! Tout droit sorti d'un défilé nouvellement adoubé et surtout plus dangereux que jamais. Kada, Kamik, Mini, Click, Zipan, du bruit, make some noise pour les Gentlemates. Et pour les accompagner de maîtres de cérémonie de qualité, Eng et Gokez. Installez-vous pour le meilleur derby du VCT.
All right. I mean, Eng just looks like he's happy to be here, honestly. I love the vibes, love the intros for our French derby. Now, of course, the big question is, where will those two teams take us? Let's take a look at the map, Veto. Share your thoughts with us, Crashies.
Mate vetoing Lotus, I think, is very good for them. I think KC is really good on Lotus, as they've shown with their Harbor.
Yeah.
KC vetoing Fracture, it's kind of expected. Haven, Pearl, Icebox, huh?
So here's the thing, right? I see Gentlemates peeking onto that Haven, and I think about that Harbor Omen. What are your thoughts on having the Harbor even on a map like Haven? Because this might have been something that Mates has seen that they want to exploit.
Yeah, I mean, it could work, it could not. Like, Sadak has so much experience with Harbor, especially on this map. So I'm sure he has a trick up his sleeve for sure.
Yeah, Mates. I mean, I'm not surprised they're taking us to Haven. That is the map they won against Team Liquid, right? Running that Neon comp. You expecting them to just run the comp back?
Maybe. Maybe.
Great insight, thanks,
Yeah.
Crashies.
Sorry about that, maybe.
Yeah, I really hope that we do have an even out match, that we get onto that third one. I think that because of this, like, the best chances that Mates has it is to close it in a 2-0 fashion, if we speak about the adaptation and whatnot, because it's not only that the composition for KC might have been the preferred one that we have seen on Haven, I think is the comfort that Mates have already found on that map. Even from the beginning of the year, they were the only team during kickoff that decided to play the Neon on Haven. Back and after that, back from Bangkok, more teams have been like, you know, Neon, after all, and after what Team One proved, is not gone. We can still play her, and it has been a complete game changer for some teams.
Do you feel like people just pushed the panic button a little too quick there, like just straying away from Neon immediately?
I definitely think so, especially at Bangkok. You saw a lot of Yoru and how strong he could be in a lot of team compositions. Yesterday, you saw like a mini boo masterclass on the Neon, and everyone was talking about it. So I think Neon will definitely be... Okay, there's Phoenix here.
Yeah, so let's discuss.
Yes, let's discuss, because there's definitely moved away from that Harbor. Sadak is going to be playing on the Sova, and they're going to go for the dual duelist. But you know, you're from Americas, you know a lot about Phoenix on Haven.
Yeah, especially, I mean, Victor used to play Phoenix on this map a lot as well. They took a Vez off Initiator and put him on Phoenix, so I mean, I'm kind of curious to see how this will go. And yeah, this is the first time they're playing this comp, so I mean, they have to be comfortable, right?
Yeah,
They're better.
yeah, well, and especially with them starting from the attack, Abes going on that Phoenix is not the first time. We've seen it in the past, not here in VCT, but definitely also jumping into that double duelist.
Yeah, I'm excited to get this one started. Crashies, thank you so much for joining us to set the stage for our French derby between Carmine Corp and Gentlemates. Sadak getting in position. We're ready here as well. So let's send it over to our casters, Pansy and Hypok.
Yeah, thank you so much. The desk, they're kind of leading us through, and you heard it when the Phoenix hit, but we'll get to that. I think we'll get to that. As I kind of want to roll it back a bit, both of these teams here at kind of that 1-1 spot in this, and we've seen a bit of a pivot, at least with the map pool now. What do you make of where we're starting?
Yeah, the Veto's a bit of a head scratch. You would have been really concerned to see them bring out the same bring out the same composition once again, because after showing it versus Vitality, they then go to ban Haven and almost feel, I don't know whether that's a little bit of paranoid or just uncomfortable with the execution of that comp, but to see the Phoenix is a hell of a pivot, to say the least.
Yeah, it is certainly a bit bizarre. And there's got to be method to the madness, right? Because in all reality, losing to Vitality on Haven during the heyday of them bringing out that comp, that I guess Fnatic comp, if you want to call it that, it seemed reasonable, but they hadn't played it since. Then it became that sort of vetoed out map.
Yeah.
They've gone back to the kitchen and cooked us up a Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it to get another, I don't even want to say wacky comp, but a wacky choice coming out in the form of the Phoenix. Certainly here for how they want to complement alongside Martin on the Yoru. Slow start here, but actually a quick creep up outside B.
Yeah, so early work from Martin and an early death. Kamek, clean work. Aves, Martin gone. Keeping it simple, certainly not keeping it exactly in their side. So now a couple of issues starting to be presented here. Sadak, Sugetsu and Elite left with a lot of work on their hands. And this pause for thought. Looking for anyone to try and re-clear. There it is, double face. Nice again from Kamek. Just clearing house and Mini. Getting his name up in the feed and closing out. Gentlemates, solid start here, Mike.
Yeah, again, just Kamek holding his ground and basically has the solo anchor on B site here.
Gosh, lovely on
Quick
the
kills. Aves and Martin dropped immediately. There's no real threat developing. KC just maybe hoping somebody was going to overstep the mark and find themselves an opener. But yeah, curious to see. I mean, you'd almost assume here with KC wants to get to the buy rounds, it's going to be very brawly, brute force, finding these very aggressive engagements. You almost have to. It's you come back to that same discussion with the Phoenix. It's the sort of the feast or famine. You have to make it work in terms of seeing numbers from it.
Oh, and that's the thing. I do want to see what they have in mind, because right now it feels just useless, right? It's found nothing in the early couple of rounds. And one of the players I wanted to look at was Mini during this, a name who's been impressing me in their first couple of series coming out. But Kamek again was cool under pressure before, catching at least one. Maybe one slipping the net, but he should have support if necessary. There it is. Zipan to catch the push-up. Do they even get a plant? Again, Zipan will see the cross. Zipan actually outdone. Lovely. Nice synergy from KC. Trying to work together on that one to outdo him, but spikes down towards B. Does recover the Bulldog, so another attempt, but we can see it. 3 players on this connector side, Mike. I think this one's wrapped.
Kamek looking very sharp.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, a point there made from Crashies just in the intro in between games, almost fueled by that kind of emotional fire that's been burning under him. And even actually in the Lost versus Foot looked fantastic throughout that. Probably, well, you could argue, the best player in the server.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Already off to a flying start here, 6-0 after the first 2 rounds.
Just, again, the Phoenix just feels like such a blunt tool. You know, it doesn't have the same depth as you look at the other kind of duelists that are being run these days. I do want to see what the theory is. You know, I really do want to see if they've got something in mind, because it was something that, again, said on the desk. Enablers, right? They were kind of discussing this, and that's not bad. Martin with a good start. Set into motion, obviously, by that sober utility. But still keeping numbers to the good. KC maintain 4.
Kada have to respect this pressure. They're down to 12 HP. KC will pause, but a man to the good. Once again, a situation waiting for a potential overstep here on the defensive side, but Zipan slips back into a deeper position as well.
How many light shields are there? Sugetsu and Sadak.
Yeah.
So those two, if they're the ones who crest the corners, it gets a bit dangerous, but beyond that, at least Elite sitting safe and
very cautious from KC.
Now, they've cycled the utility back up now, so you've got to feel it's got to be go time soon-ish. Drone on corner. Oh, Martin! Just catching Zipan a little asleep, but the wheel and Kada trying to find some safety is not going to happen. Mini now complimented this man, but a very tricky predicament, and he knows it, and he's been punished for it. Elite there to seal it, and KC get there first.
Bit of buff to the economy as well. 4 rifles maintained. It's a very, very clean round 3 from Carmine Court. Kamek just find another one, gets him one away from the Rolling Thunder as well. Yeah, the ping coming through, unfortunate click even with the speed boost, unable to escape here. But yeah, the timing on the peak there from the drone actually coming up on long. This kill, Martin. I say cautious in approach. Well handled, actually, even in that regard, nobody from Gentlemates overstepping the mark either.
This is the fun one, though. We get the buy back in. Even though the bonus was pretty tasty, this is the one we're looking for. to see how well they deal with the utility. Again, they've got the control early on of Long. They've got the lay of the land. We've got to see what's happening.
Clicks on walkabouts, yeah.
He is, but look, there is a player down here. He's not going to be scot-free on this and got a little lazy on the clear on the corner. Sadak just keeping that aim locked in on it. Beautifully done, and pressure now through from Garage. Kada is in a world of trouble. Get out of there.
Almost want him out of sight altogether here with the gap rotation, but he's going to try and make something happen off the paranoia. He does.
Okay, he's got Aves. Disrespecting it. You thought that would have been time to retreat, but no. Wanted to play ahead and bring it back down to this 4v4.
I think anybody else from Gentlemates will have a say in this, but actually KC not committing towards the plant. Once again, cutting sound and waiting for an overstep here, but Elite's in a really weird position here. Gentlemates are winning out on the fights. Mini's the one to clean it up, Lauren.
Look, Mini's been the man that's got my eye trained on him recently, and they met that composure. It felt like we were back in yesterday's game almost, with that pause that we were seeing from Vitality taking that space and then slowing down, but Gentlemates greeting that, looking quite casual about it. And again, this confidence here, the disrespect. It's brilliantly done.
I mean, Kada actually does really well to fight, because the spacing wasn't awful on that double swing. He's done really well to find one and still get out. So yeah, a little strange to see that. Another situation where you almost want to be in the comms and understand exactly what's being relayed.
Look at this 3-play stack towards the A site, though. As much as they're trying to creep up this, Mike, there's so many bodies here. Does it kind of get info? Does. That's 2. And there's the ult. They're being proactive. They want to be aggressive. And they're rewarded. Oh, Click with it all. Feasting down Long. Just Elite alive. That is perfect. And in zone flawless. And Gentlemates showing they have that fire in them.
Whether or not Gentlemates have already figured out that Carmine Core have got a fairly slow approach in terms of the attack. They absolutely make it count in this round. Beautiful execution on this.
Also, Zipan here with the spacing, lovely, because it almost lets you get to slip there.
Yeah. And Click, I don't even think actually spotted ahead of that, the second player stacked on bricks. Will force out a very early Carmine Core timeout here.
That was lovely. I love a proactive ult like that, because it feels so nice having the back pocket, right, to maybe play retake with or something like that, but to invest it there just feels like, no, you're not even getting a chance into this.
And so the nature of some of these losses early on as well, you almost expect with this composition, like I said, you have to come out of the gate swinging to make the Phoenix work. You get the ultimate online nice and early, you get the body in hand effectively.
And saying the Phoenix to work, 0 to 5 so far. Not what the doctor ordered, 1 away from ult now, but not even an early investment to try and get, that building. Obviously a quiet start, certainly not going to help that matter.
No, for sure. On the flip side, Sadak and Martin already have theirs, but it's not a round you really want to be investing anything else into. It's a Guardian in the hands of Sugetsu to round things out. Gentlemates off to a flying start on Haven.
And again, this was one of the maps that, 14-12 against Liquid, which was a... what's that then?
There's been a music change. But yeah, you're right. And that's a difficult one to really look back on, because it didn't feel good from either. It was almost like you kind of credit the ability to close out that map, but it certainly wasn't a convincing victory.
It wasn't.
But again, I mean, you flip that back over, and then coming back to the Veto, this doesn't feel like a convincing Veto if you're KC. Again, the question mark of Pearl being in there for map 2 versus Icebox, whether or not that's... that's the one I can't get my head around.
No, I know. You were pacing the green room. You were furious about it.
I mean, we come out now, we see a comp change on Haven. Maybe that's indicative of something they've gone away and worked on. But if you look at this at face value, Mates have won this Veto, and there's a real chance that even you said they could close out 2-0.
There's a chance. I don't see it being the hugest chance in the world.
By no stretch am I sitting here saying this would be an easy 2-0 for Gentlemates, purely based off the Veto alone.
Yep.
I mean, hindsight, Harry, maybe 4-1 start. If this does continue on Haven, you're certainly very concerned then, looking back at the bigger picture.
Yeah, Because we can kind of get into it when we talk Veto, because the fact that KC floated Pearl through both of their early series, it doesn't look like it's a problem, neither does this. Martine looking easy to deal with, more info spotted towards sewer, and proactivity down towards C long. Just so the production like me using the buttons, there it is, even the observers are on it. They're faster than me. I shouldn't be doing it, they're nailing it. Whoa! Speaking of nailing it, big shot. Nice from Arvez, couple more of those. And now they're getting aggressive. Now this I get a little bit nervous about, but again, kind of showing that aggression and confidence and taking a couple of those key fights and clearing the question mark from long.
Still be concerned about Click's position. He's not dealing with that trip, so the bulk of this push coming through to Garage, it could be a concern in the post plant, especially now with Sugetsu down to 23 HP.
It's that player on long, it's Click down here, it's gonna be the factor. If Mini's spotted
Sadak's looking back this way, yeah, but...
Look, Sadak's a smart boy, but you're going to give it a glance.
Left.
You're probably not going to expect the world, and he's cleared well here, Click. He's done very well. It wasn't the cleanest shot, but it doesn't matter. It's across the line, and Sugetsu's HP becomes such an near-on impossible object to avoid. 23 to work with, and yeah, it's perfect. Lovely in the end from Gentlemates. I'm really impressed with this so far, Mike, but it was never really me looking at Gentlemates to be the ones to prove anything to me. I wanted to see something great from Carmine Core. You look at the potential, and I'm not seeing it here.
I think that's key as well, to come back and look at maybe start of season expectations. Gentlemates have already kind of had their upswing.
Yes.
Right, they're already kind of, I don't want to say over-delivering, but certainly performing ahead of where we would have looked. And Carmine Core, on the flip side of that, are actually fairly far behind in terms of expectations.
This is technically the group they're operating is the harder one. I guess on paper, people wanted to call Omega the harder group. So you can't be fumbling some of those games that, you know, on paper should have been yours, but it's the way it goes. We've got ults galore for KC. If there was a round to see some of that brilliance that your Eng will have, that your, you know, Sadak will have, this would be it. So far, simplistic. A 4-1 split. Looking like B is the eventual goal. Flash in, but we can already see the posturing and already look at the space once again being taken. These fundamentals are working brilliantly for Gentlemates to keep map control.
Click has to be considered this time around, surely. I mean, Elite is in a disconnected position, and actually you can see elsewhere proactive towards A-Link from Carmine Core. The drone actually invested so deep on, it's going to spot out Mini.
This is Fury coming in. Mini's going to go down. This is better. Kata trying to be controlled, but it doesn't work. Zipan the only one to find Sadak here, really. Down to that 2v3. Sugetsu, Martine, Elite, all still here. Trying to play from the site and one down towards main. A quick way out towards main, at least for Sugetsu. But can they get this done in time? The time is ticking here. This looks good. That shot looks great, though. But time is going to be a factor. They got to know it. They're doing so well here, though. But this is so close. I don't think there's time now to make a go of it. No, Sugetsu playing it to the second, but it took a lot.
I mean, frugal though with the ultimates. They only really burned up the Neural Theft and the run it back. So credit in that regard for KC to find their second. Gentlemates definitely made it interesting though.
It felt like it was left a little too late, maybe, for Click to make that a little bit of a play in, because it felt like they were holding all those extremities.
Yeah.
But they just gets diffed in the 1v1.
And again, I believe it was 3 bodies. 3 bodies invested towards A-Link to try and find extra space, secure that post plant. Like I said, the drone is used so deep that it actually clears onto A site. I see KC start to cycle through these ultimates now. Judge in hand for Martine behind this.
Should be site clear.
Gentlemates will concede all of this space.
Seems like we've got some comms coming through here. Hopefully those can get cleared up. Going to talk over it, so hopefully nothing gets leaked. Don't really love the idea of that going out on stream. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Hopefully production can cut that for you guys. For now, we look towards Sadak on long. Does manage to get Kamek down, and the follow-up too. Nice from Sadak. Still going to have his ult there in pocket if things get a little dicey. Even spotted out Zipan towards Heaven. Paranoia coming in, but the numbers are so strong. I'm pretty sure it's just down to Zipan here, and this is now a formality.
21 HP, nothing left to do in this round now.
Of course I know. Look, I'm
4 rifles will be maintained here.
Imagine.
Does KC make their exit? 3 on the board now for them.
We still have A couple of...
Yeah, on the back of Martin, paving the way. I said frugal once more, no over-investment.
Yep.
Still maintain, well, again, the TP for Sugetsu, but more importantly, the Hunter's Fury.
Oh.
I think I
Wonder
might,
what this is
I think I might know. It's one of those moments where you think, did they hear what we heard?
Do you know what? I'll put it out there just to be transparent. I was talking a lot because there were comms in our ear from the teams, and I assumed that they didn't want that being played, so I yapped a little harder. So apologies if I sounded like I was losing my mind. I am. But for now, we take a second and hopefully get this one sorted in front of us, and when we know more, we will inform you. Funny, there's no graphic
ticker
on that one.
Yeah, just yet.
Yeah. Well, let's kind of, I think what I liked what you said there was frugal, and kind of arcing back to that. They're kind of slow investment of the ult, but very well considered every single time. As you said, we had the running back coming in, then we had the, it was Martin with the Yoru ult, right? So they're very cautiously investing, very safe, and it's got them 2 rounds now. They're doing lovely with this.
I mean, even to bring it back here with how the map has started, so that timeout paying dividends. Just to note again as well, Kamek leading the way for Gentlemates, 11-4 right now. Continuing that standout performance we've seen previously. But yeah, I mean, not necessarily sold once. I mean, it's not even something, it's almost going back to what, late 2023 really would have been Phoenix heyday.
Those were the days.
But yeah, again, there's not really a lot of nuance to it. It's fairly linear in terms of, yeah, you can play hyper-aggressive, but we're not seeing Carmine Core do that. So what's the kind of mid to late round tools that we're trying to rely on here? Is it just around cycling these ultimates?
Maybe. I was kind of looking at if there's going to be some specific util usage to maybe take that control towards Garage or pressure beacons. I was expecting something, but I don't feel these days I get much from a Phoenix that I don't get from a Neon, perhaps, or something of that ilk. There's so many other options now that suit that role a bit better. Yeah, you get the ult, obviously, which does cycle quickly, but that's about it.
Yeah. Like I said, not a lot of
play
nuance
Waylay,
to, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it comes back to the same discussions we were having a few years back, which is, why do you justify it over another pick? Do have, well, a non-update, but we are actually potentially investigating a bug. So once we know anything else, we will let you know. Didn't spot anything.
I didn't see it either. I'd love to know. Just so nosy.
And just for once, actually, we haven't been told what it is. Usually we get told. We pretend that we haven't.
It's probably Alberto keeping stuff from us. He's like that. Producer Alberto. Cheek of it. If it does go on too much longer, we'll go back to the desk. And I say that with sheer confidence. How's that feeling?
Well, I wasn't listening to you.
Ah, well.
I was talking to Alberto.
Oh, yeah, you and Alberto, best mates now. No, I was saying, if it takes any longer, we'll go back to the desk.
Maybe.
No,
maybe.
Say it with confidence.
Maybe.
No.
We could do that. We could do that, maybe.
Oh, it's getting close to that time. We'll let you know as we get the information if we are heading back to the desk. Maybe it just needs a second or two to investigate further, but well, Theorycraft, what do you reckon's happened? Make something up.
Well, then maybe there's something.
Lie completely to me.
Maybe there's something in the water today, because this will be the second for today. We were talking about. Do you remember? Was it Nookie's PC back at the Coliseum?
No.
Did the rounds on the stage?
I
think it was Nookie's PC.
It was. And I don't know if the people at home remember, but it used to be the cursed PC. Trust you me. Now, we have got delightful news. We're not going back in game yet. No, I just want to get you excited. We're going to the desk, because this might take a little longer.
Absolutely in love with a guessing game on tech issues. Absolute cinema. What you got for us, Mac, if you had to make a guess?
The bottom says a potential bug, and that's as far as we've gotten. Have no idea what the bug is, but bugs can be annoying, so let's smack it.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Okay, that was very aggressive.
I could have gone
We need that, and I believe the LEC needs it as well. So
who?
That sounds like a them problem.
Yeah,
I feel personally.
Okay. But we have that on tape in case they ask on Monday. We have that on tape.
Yeah, don't play that tomorrow. They'll never bring me back.
Actually, before we're diving into whatever we have to fill time until they figured out which kind of creepy crawlies are bugging us on stage, Mac, we haven't gotten your thoughts on the compositions yet.
Yeah.
Seeing a Phoenix in the mix, kind of exciting.
Bit of fun, bit of action, bit of something different, which is good. And I think something different is needed because, you know, KC haven't been finding, you know, a huge amount of success, and Gentlemates in particular. That Haven's been looking relatively decent for them. Their structure, everything has been going incredibly well so far. This stage, you know, that being said, you know, KC, as mentioned, needed the shake-up, and the shake-up unfortunately didn't come out straight away. What was it? It was 2-0, 3-0, or 2-1, something like that, right off the gate. And then after that, it got a little bit messy. And and we're getting to the point where the thing is, it started incredibly good. The structure GM brought in was great.
Yeah, I like to see the composition that KC is bringing. They're known for bringing in something new. I like the fact that they're moving away from the harbor, because we have, at least from the partnership era, and I believe because Phoenix plus another duelist, or even Phoenix on Haven, was not a thing when Euro was played. So I'm going to just throw this one and say, definitely, at least in partnership era, we have not seen the Phoenix played on Haven. But specifically this composition, there has to be the first time. So they're still on that line of surprising the opponent, of playing into their strengths. And as you said, Mates had a brilliant start. Not only getting the pistol rounds, but we were seeing the aggression and the understanding of their winning conditions, of not allowing KC to grab those orbs, to get on those ultimates. Yeah. Because in the last 2 rounds that we have seen them using the Phoenix ult, something that Gentlemates has to respect, compulsory. And then also beautiful usage of the Euro ult. So them getting this couple of rounds after the pause that we heard, it's not something that they're going to have for every round. So I want to see what comes next and after what we saw.
The 2 agents that we have now seen in the last 2 days, which were not picked in EMEA this stage, including kickoff, is Sky and Phoenix. And now we got them both back-to-back in days. So I think there might only be 1 agent left off the top of my head. This is from the prep I was doing before I even came over. And I can't remember what that is, but, you know, hopefully we'll be back in game soon and I can get that for you for the post-match.
Yeah, as you can see on your screens right now, it is not an in-game bug, so we should be resuming shortly.
We're getting ready checks. That's always a good sign.
Ready checks, so we're about to dive straight back into all the action. The cast has talked about it. Also, Crashies gave his thoughts on the maps here. M80 seems to be M80. I'm American pilled at this point. No, Gentlemates, M8. They seem to be favored in the map. Would you agree with that?
I think, in general, with performance recently, they're just looking favored for the matchup. And if it's a 2-0, it's going to go that way.
Oh, well, we're about to find out as we're heading back into the action. So for all of that and so much more, we're going to send it back over to the ever so lovely, yes, I said what I said, Hansi and Havoc. Hypoc. Havoc.
It's
happening?
Between.
Yeah,
You're in an
still
got
doesn't sound genuine.
No, it doesn't. It's like,
it's just...
love you, Pansy, but I guess Hypoc's there too. I haven't seen it unpaused in game yet.
No, stage is still red. Stage is still red.
The desk needed a break.
Resuming shortly. But resuming now. Now it says resuming.
It's not.
Headsets on.
Yep.
Everyone.
Little sup.
There we go.
Unpaused in game.
Colour change.
Just there we are. The crowd goes wild. Appreciate you. Welcome to EMEA.
And the close-up. The focal point now for the remainder of Haven.
3-7.
Yeah. Well, but on the board, right?
Yes. Yes, one of those was that, I think, Sheriff kill that came in. But you know what? It's back.
Is he getting a weapon?
It's on the floor. It's in front.
Okay, I couldn't see it through the... Well,
Guys.
there's somebody...
I'm going to be honest, guys.
Doesn't look good.
It's not looking good out here, chat. Can you see the issue? I need the little... You know, have you seen the meme with like the stick with a little hand on it and you tap on the screen?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I need a lot... Can we... Oh, we should...
Oh, you've...
No!
Observers have trolled me.
They've absolutely thrown...
There's the weapon, though.
Yep. Can we get the little, like, free cam real quick?
There's the weapon. There it is.
Oh, clear the screen. Oh. Yes,
Just
I believe
there.
that's... Oh! Observers again.
Yeah. Oh, we're going for a knife fight.
Knife down middle. Choose sides.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Oh, so we're starting from scratch, I guess. We're still looking at it. We're still watching it. But just to let you know, this doesn't count. Maybe a little confusing, but as you can see on the player cam, the stage runs red once again.
I've only picked up the bloody gun.
He's moving now.
Oh, he's moving.
Now you've cut away from him. It was stage fright. That's what it was.
I'm so nervous.
Well, there's a chance we're going to roll back
Can
now.
you imagine the words chrono break?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. And again, earlier we were saying, oh, we haven't had one of them in a while.
Yeah, no. Most popular mini on the show.
Yeah, undoubtedly. It's not even close, actually.
Not even close. Yeah. Not even close. So anyone in chat, now is the time to ask questions. We will answer them completely honestly. Zero lies will be said. Anything you want. Michael will be heading the answers up. I will be posing the questions. So anything you wish to know, now is the time. It's like, you know, there's like call-in shows like Dear Deirdre.
Yes.
Ben's been cheating on me. One of those. It's going to be one of those. Kind of like Agony on.
We're not giving relationship advice on mainstream. There's no way.
There's time. There's time. I'm waiting for chat to catch up so I can... Oh,
As is expected, a player has reported a computer issue.
Oh,
just in case you were
really?
curious.
I wonder who it was. I'm most curious. Here we are. Michael, what do you think of Sliggy? Quick fire.
Top 3 people of all time.
Wow, because he says something different when he puts your name in chat.
Well, I know that.
Yeah.
I know the chat command you're talking about.
Favorite colour?
Red. Say what you see.
Can we overtake the Pacific crown of tech pauses? We're on the way.
I think if we were to actually count back to the last few years, we're still way ahead.
Oh, yeah, no.
Way ahead.
Roll it back.
And then if we went to total time of timeouts, we're still way ahead.
We're still
I still have nightmares about the 40-minute tech pause back in, was it Masters Berlin?
It might have been. Oh, there's some brutal questions, chat. You're a little lethal.
This is why there's no filter applied.
No, there's none, but it's really funny. I wish I could say it on stream.
Just to give it up, we are obviously doing a round rollback, so it should take a couple of minutes. Once we have an ETA, we'll give you an update on that.
Reference to Mini here. Do you feel, this is a question to me, do you feel more comfortable casting with shorter co-casters because they're closer to your level? That's just like a little bit of flame for me and then Mini.
Yeah.
That's brutal. All right, well, I'm 5'6". That's perfectly reasonable. There's not many questions coming in, guys. I need you to get on it. Otherwise, I don't know what we'll talk about.
No.
Today.
No, it's certainly dried up after the first tech pause. We've really
run the content out, guys. Just relax in the audience.
The crowd
says
the crowd on their feet, as you can see.
If there's any more tech pauses of this length, free drinks for everyone.
Yep.
It's wild.
And maybe we'll send Mac out again.
Yeah. Oh, Mac out there.
Send Mac to flame everybody in the audience again. That got down well actually today.
Yeah.
Derby day. Well received.
Oh, if only we had 10 rounds. Michael, do you believe Paper X can bounce back?
Always.
Really?
Yeah, always.
Really?
It's Paper X. They defy all odds. They do things that they're not meant to do, but they work.
What's the favourite tech pause you've ever been a part of?
My favourite tech pause.
Mine's going to be the turret. You know it's the turret. We're halfway out of the venue.
We were on the way.
Leaving.
We were on the way to the shuttle to go back to the hotel, and it was like, oh, you've got to go back into makeup. In fact, actually, it was Mitch Man that came and told me we had to go, and I was like, I'm not believing you.
Yeah, Mitch, you're
it's
a liar.
Mitch.
Yeah,
it's Mitch.
No one trusts Mitch. Production has got us an SOT. Chat, you can decide. Do we go to a lovely video or do we carry on yapping? I think yapping.
Type one in chat.
We'll see.
For an SOT.
All right, just before he has a real go at me, we are going to go to the SOT, so we'll be back in just a moment.
You need to be smart and like know when the right time is to go in.
I would say she's decent. It's very hard agent, I would say.
And like double dash and then kill one, dismiss back, you know? I think it's like, you need hands for it.
It seems to me it's more like a ranked demon agent.
I mean, just from biased experience, she's horrible in solo queue. Like, I haven't really seen like an actual like good annoying waylay.
I think the ult is also really interesting, to be honest. We never had the ult to like spread, you know, because like you throw the ult and then it kind of spreads.
If you can utilize the ultimate correctly, it's good. But I feel like so far with what I've seen, like the ult's not getting like the craziest value consistently. So I think you got to make like really good plans around that.
You can see the full potential of this agent only in competitive, when you have 4 people behind you with utility who can help you.
If you're gonna take Veto, you have to at least one more character to follow him behind.
Because this agent, as I said, requires a lot of mechanic skills, because you don't have a smoke on Jet, like on Jet, you cannot dash in smoke, you're dashing in open space, so you need to always think before you do something.
I think in pro play, I can side more with the point that like you need 4 players around you that like have to help you get set up, or else like the value you're gonna get, like again, why not just go Yoru or like Jet or something?
I like her as a mechanic agent. It's insane, like it's super fun. But competitively, I still haven't seen like the perfect maybe combination of agents or how to use it properly, you know?
She should be good on 2 maps, but I'm not gonna say it. You should keep on me.
Yeah, we've gotten a few glimpses of Waylay usage so far in EMEA, some more successful than others. Gentlemates actually did play Waylay as well, together with KO on Icebox, and they did win that match. I believe it was against Foot like just a week ago or something like that. I don't know, what is time? Time
No,
is a weird vacuum, a weird concept that I do... The match that where the third map never happened. That's the one we're referring to.
Exactly. Oh god, you just gotta love having Pansy on the studio. It's just like a guarantee. She just loves having the tech pauses. She will try and pry for as many as we can.
Look, they wanted me out there to fight the audience, and I was ready to go. I was
in a bear
standing
costume
up.
or just as is?
In what?
In a bear costume. That's how usually people...
No, attack the bear. I'd
And
throw
you'd
an
be
attack the bear. If there's attack the bear costume around the studio, I'll be throwing that on, and I will be fighting everyone in the audience. Make sure you come and see me.
No.
We can make it happen. Why? Why
I'm
not?
sure there's some insurance claims to be filed.
No. What do you have?
I was going to go for like paper, scissors, rock, but you didn't.
It's not just about...
Who says that order?
We're not going to see his guns on
Rochambeau.
display in the audience. No, we're going to look at some guns being fired inside our service. What you got for us? What a
So this is how we saw Mate lock down the pistol round, and it is just going to be great fundamentals. So as you can see, their card art was just tucked into the corner. You had Zippin and who's his merry friend there, that's Mini. They're just going to be swinging on the contact, and it's just classic fundamentals. There is a lot of tools in Valorant to stop this from happening, but that is what I wish my ranked teammates did, you know? So I say, don't peek, swing when I shoot. Right, that is what they just did, and it won them the round. I say that to my ranked teammates. They peek anyway and die, and they're like, why didn't you swing with me? I'm like, anyway, communications, it is important. And as an Australian, half of Europe doesn't understand me.
It's true, that's factual.
Sorry, I'm just getting that out. I got a lot of pent-up rage, which is why I want to fight the audience.
This is what the tech pauses are for.
I'm going to go fight
let
the
it all
audience.
out. It's getting very emotional here. Anything you want to share with class?
Yes, I also had a round. I wanted to take a look at how Mates understood the winning condition for their opponent, and I believe this round 5, it's a perfect example for it. They want to fight for this orb on A because of what we're saying, having the Phoenix, having the Yoru, you do not want to let them fight for it. And it is lovely how Zippin uses this round, even though when he spots 2 players, Kamik already has his ultimates, he does not hesitate, no doubts, click good for 1, good for 2, Zippin behind him, carrying all the clearance, and a very quick and easy, flawless, in-zone actually, flawless round for them. So this is the kind of Mates that could win this match. And actually, it differs a lot from the Mates that we got to meet at kickoff, because when Robbie BK was calling, I remember that they were the kind of team that will play a lot for the retake and will save most of their utility for that retake. So seeing that proactivity gives a different look, gives a different edge for Mates.
And you gotta love it, you know, as I was saying in the last tech pause. I really think this is going to be a 2-0 for Mates. At the moment, it's looking like that's going the right direction. Very solid defense so far on Haven. And that's what you want, you know, the attack side generally seen as the stronger side, and especially with, you know, what we're seeing from KC as well. They do have that double duelist. They are trying to show us exactly why Phoenix has been picked here, and I want to see why. I'm just not convinced on the pick.
Do you know something funny?
Always.
Even though this Gentlemates roster is completely different from the one I'm about to reference, Gentlemates run the composition that KC is running, not on Haven, but on Ascent. And it made me so sad because he was in a tank playing on the Phoenix, and I miss a tank so freaking bad. So I would say, you know, Mates, they've seen, they know how this composition run now, but every single piece of the puzzle is different right now. So yeah, I was just looking back, trying to see if this composition has been played before, you know, we don't do that.
Also, before we go back, you know how I was talking about the agents that weren't played so far? It is only this stage, it's not the whole year. Every agent has actually been played this year now in the EMEA. But Reyna and Sage are the
And
only
Gecko.
two that haven't been. Oh, and Gecko actually.
And Gecko.
That's the one I didn't write down. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. See, big
We
brain.
missed Gecko. I remember that
You
especially.
missed it, actually.
Yeah. Because I mean, I understand it. I understand why we're not seeing it and why people have recognized these strengths somewhere else. But I kind of miss it because it literally defined last year, not only here in EMEA but across the globe. So it's just one of those situations where it's just a better option that came around and nobody thinks about Gecko anymore.
I do love how many swings in meta we've already seen, though, because if you're really considering it, we only really had, like, obviously kickoff and then the first Masters in Bangkok, and now halfway through stage 1, and yet there's already been so many shifts and iterations.
But there's different options.
Yeah.
I like
Exactly,
that.
but it was so wide open, right? Like, you weren't shoehorned into, like, only one or two duelists being viable. Like, you can kind of play almost everything. You can make it work for you, depending on the maps as well.
Yeah, you know, that's the beauty of Valorant. You know, as the agent pool gets larger and larger, there is going to be more options, more ways to play the game, more compositions that work on more different maps, and that's why you love teams that do cook good food, and then we still enjoy the teams that cook. The food might not be good, it might not work out, it might get spilled off the plate, but at least they're cooking something and showing us their range.
I really like this position as well because we have the double duelist. You can also rely on a lot of initiators, maybe not triple initiator on Ascent, just a piece of advice, but you can run the double sentinel, the double duelist.
Yeah.
Depending on the strength of your team, you can go more towards one route or the other, and still everything is up in the air. I love the fact that people are being adventurous with it, even though we know that Tejo is pretty OP. Not every team is putting it on every map. Some teams are barely even playing it and still finding very, very good results, which is so fanatic. They played in what, like a couple of maps out of all that we have, and they're still being very successful. So I think that even though we see some agents being more predominant, for the metas that we have had, like the Chamber one or at the beginning with back in the day with Raze had 2 nades or with Jet had all the abilities that she had, I like the diversity that we're getting.
Absolutely. And like at the beginning, obviously, of the Teo Breach shenanigans when it just started, it felt like now it's just like a util kind of game, right? But like I feel like a lot of teams went back to the gunplay because they were like, that's where our strength is. And if you know your strength, you can make it work against pretty much any team. Now, we are still, of course, working on the rollback, on fixing whatever has been broken on this stage. So we will continue to waffle and entertain you for our
roll.
Oh, I see
we
Nico.
have a wheel.
Nico, I
We
see
have a
something in
wheel.
your
We
hand.
have a
You can
wheel
come
now.
in. You're always welcome.
Yeah.
Wheels
Nico.
roll.
There we
I
go.
hear.
Nico's bringing in a wheel
Thank you.
because I'm sure there's some unanswered questions.
Are there
Right.
any unanswered questions? Spin the wheel.
Oh, the sound is so satisfying. I don't know
It
if it's
is.
been picked up.
No cap. Wait, I'm too old to understand what this answer now means.
I'm too
no
old as
cap
well.
isn't like, yes, there are.
We got
or
the
no?
boomer desk today.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. I'm gonna
shit.
say,
It's the plus 30 desk. Like, this is not. It's not.
wasn't a I cannot let this go. Wasn't a tank or isn't a tank the best Phoenix that we're ever going to see in EMEA? Not this time, no!
Oh.
It doesn't matter to me, you are an attack. Whatever you are, to me, you are.
Well, I mean, technically, the way you phrased the question implies that he's not currently playing in EMEA, so he can't be the best Phoenix we have in EMEA since he's currently. But he's also available now, again, unfortunately. So any team, any takers, I would love to see a tank back in action.
I got one.
What does this answer mean? I also like.
It means ass.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I guess that's...
Bottoms.
Could
What
be
do you want to know?
could be
What do you want to
negative.
know?
No.
Anything goes. Not
Are
anything goes.
Gentlemates going to win? Can we save ourselves some time and not play the game?
Yeah, we could also just, like, sort it with the wheel, I'm sure.
For sure. Yeah.
That was
Easy.
You meant the entire
See you later. I'm
match?
done.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right,
usually. I mean,
it's okay.
I use literally transitive properties.
I see
transitive
getting
properties.
ready checks.
Perfect.
That's good. We're getting closer, everybody. Do not worry.
Will
We're
all
losing it
players
too.
be ready?
That's a dangerous one.
Hey.
I can't curse this. No,
No
cap,
cap,
it's
it's
a yes.
Okay.
Love that.
Lovely.
We got
Love
you, chat. We
Absolutely.
got you. Yeah.
Wait. 1 second. Since we're resuming, will we have another tech pause thanks to Lauren and
Hell
Hypo?
yeah.
Oh, I feel like you manifested it now.
A script says no. Okay, everybody, let's get it back.
Let's go. We're resuming, so let's send it back over to the cursed duo. Hi, Pog. I'm Pansy.
But the fact, honestly, I was ready to run down to the desk and take the wheel away. I knew somebody was going to ask the question about another tech pause, but Script says no.
Script says no.
I'm not
it's
sold.
taking its time.
I'm not sold.
The arena is back to the intended colors. Let's go, crowd. There is golf claps all around.
Golf
we love that.
claps all around.
We love that. Beautiful. We will be going fully unhinged if there is another tech pause. So you want to stick around for that because I might lose my job. I might lose my job.
5-3, if you can remember that far back.
5-7's my favourite though.
Really?
Was yours yesterday too.
But we're not talking about that.
We had a lovely time though while you guys were being entertained by the desk, yapping away to the observers. They showed us where the monkey's at. Monkey on the cat. I can't even say monkey without following up.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I nearly did just follow up on that, so.
All right, let's focus up. KC still on the attack, and Kamek had a little bit of a look down middle. Didn't stick around too long, though.
Flash! As if KC going to try and explore towards Gash. First time I've actually seen this much of a commitment behind it.
My camera is this.
Early round, actually, versus Kada over here on the solo anchor. Deep trip outside the choke, though. It's the clone to set it off.
Go Mini, though, still very much around, just playing off the back of the smoke. That's lovely! Oh, I thought he could have had the follow-up on that, but great trade from Sugetsu to keep this site secure.
Now, previously, plant will come through. No hesitation this time around from KC. TP will come through from Kada. Well, to plant, actually, so we'll clear some space. I don't think he actually could have got a glance of anybody there, though.
What's the goer? It looks like this, but again, click. Okay, just melts the face of Martin. Spacing now becomes important. No one to capitalize on that space given. So Sugetsu still gets safety, joined by Elite. Nice little close to the round.
To seal the deal here, bring it within 1 round for KC. Yeah, actually, the progress towards some of the ultimates just about coming back around. There's a timeout. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. It's not tech, don't worry. There's Gentlemates to maybe just take a breath, honestly, after such a long break. Obviously,
Check back in.
Yeah, no discussion really going on throughout.
I think we should all sit in silence if there's ever a tech pause now. It becomes like the thing.
Well,
The
we
players
just,
can't
we
talk,
just,
we just-
yeah, we just insta-mute. Can't talk during the tech
Well,
pause.
it's
the
offensive
rules.
integrity.
It's the rules. Comp pops.
They're on our case.
My hands are tied on this one.
But yeah, his Gentlemates calling the timeout. And you're right, I think he's just kind of checking back in because there was that extended pause there as well, kind of refocusing a little. And there has been consecutive rounds now strung together by KC. 3 in a row, starting to use those ultimates well. We've started to see them kind of flex a little bit on this map, showing some of that comfort here, and maybe indicating why this was, you know, something they left here and left open.
So the ultimate you look towards Arvez, 2 away from the running back once again. So gets to steal with the TP, but again, no real standout performance just yet from anybody on KC. Kamek the one to kind of tip the scales in his favour elsewhere. But it's going to be difficult really for Gentlemates to get some of these key ultimates online before the end of this half, to be honest. Rolling Thunder just about there. Obviously with Click burning his up previously as well. Yeah, not much in this one for Gentlemates. A Guardian rifle in the hands of Click. Actually almost making it work. Martin down to 30 HP, but in quick succession, KC will find 3.
Yeah, that's super nice. This passive default, this kind of wait and see was just wonderous. And I don't know if they noted maybe Kamek going walkabouts before, but still, this is really
Yeah, it's
well
been
done.
there, yeah. A few times unchecked or, well, unconfirmed at least. Completely caught off guard here. Actually, Kada and Zipan drifted over towards C, maybe to hold on to the Guardian. Even when the fun's on the other side, they almost don't want to feed across into these ultimates potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're coming into the last couple of rounds versus the run it back and potentially Martin the one to pick up a couple more kills as well, could be very problematic. They have split up now. Kada positioned over towards CT. Zipan noted with the trip, so CT's eyes will be trained towards the flank. So maybe a little misdirection with the smoke here, but I don't think they're going to find a tangible engagement.
No, Zipan does at least get the Vandal now. So a little bit more to work with. It's just be kept to the next couple of rounds. So as it stands, good responses from KC. It felt like that kind of played to their hand a little bit, if honest. Their patience paying off. And they keep 5 alive, so everything looking okay. I mean, as I said, no one really standing out, but quite scripted rounds almost.
5 alive. It's come across obviously very comfortable in the purchase now. 4 on the bounce for KC. Tied up 5 apiece isn't something with how this started, at least. Wasn't something I was expecting to be saying. Even with that early success found. Unable to build upon that. Like I said, it's been a really slow burn from KC. Not typical, really, of this composition. I mean, others and Martin both sat at 4 and 8.
Revealing area.
Back to business. The direct A approaches had been looking better for Gentlemates, really. This time around, Zipan, though, tough challenge ahead of him if he is going to be holding this solo. Does have a little bit of that Cypher utility to complement the position, but info's here, but it feels like it's a little too late. Zipan, he's going to be caught in a terribly hard predicament. He's found a little bit of a corner to play from, though. Not been challenged yet, and Aves doesn't get what he wants. The ult is going to be burnt out on this one. The follow-up flash was fantastic. Zipan goes down, they get a corner of the site, but it is only a corner. Gentlemate's funneling through to play off the wall of graffiti, but it seems like an awareness. Aware of what's there. Click still does well with 2. But it is where did Mini get that other one from? The shot on Aves, fair enough, but now you're up against an open who's got a TP. You can see the consideration from Mini here.
Mini's going to be here way earlier than I think Sugetsu's probably going to anticipate, but does smoke himself off. So another safety blanket provided.
He's swinging, and Mini doesn't miss.
That second kill was outrageous from Heaven, Lauren.
Give me that replay. Give me that.
But it's another situation where after the execute comes through, there's just this, I don't know if it's hesitation or what, but the plant doesn't come through when you're expecting it to.
Oh, little fadeaway on it. Very nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, because Sugetsu smokes himself off, he has to make a move out there. It may feel a little brazen to watch back, but like I said, Mini reads it perfectly as well. Like I said, makes really good ground up. Whilst Sugetsu takes a couple of seconds for him to retrieve the spike. Consider the TP as well.
Who's next?
Look, that A approach was something that Gentlemates had been doing well with handling. Now the rest of the map had been waving that KC banner a little bit bluer. It's already Martin. Gonna take some space here, allow for the rest of the push-up to come in, but what's the approach? It's actually elite to catch.
Yeah, Click's been, on B actually. Maybe in transition.
Hold on, they're trying to make a push on this one, and they've got to be ready now. Martin and Aves both falling. There's now a real avenue back towards this site. Do they continue to try and re-clear? The information's there, but the shot is great from Elite. Needs a bit more, gets a bit more with Sugetsu. Now down to the 1v1. Sugetsu lost it last time.
Northef goes off though.
This should be, I don't want to say a default win, but it gives him at least control on the corner. He walks it, and it's a shot again. Sugetsu, heartbreaking for him, but hard to win 1v1s.
We'll just confirm the kills well, but a 7-5 half for Gentlemates. A brilliant way to end out this half. 2-round buffer. Carmine Core slowly building back in, and we'll have to see if that does continue into the second half.
Well, it's 7-5, a relatively close affair with a little bit of a wake-up call towards the end of this, Mike. It felt like it kind of went in waves here, kind of 4 in a row for one side, 3 for the other, and back and forth they went.
But Gentlemates win out in the pace change, which was, again, you expect with this composition, Commodore to be able to really, really thrive on that front line. It just didn't come through. The second half definitely going to be interesting to watch.
And how do we feel about the Phoenix now slotting into the defending side? I can see your face. Use your
The vertical swing, you can see my face.
That's the face! Observers, I love you guys so much.
I'm just not sold yet.
It's not enough for me.
No.
I feel like they could achieve the same look with something maybe a little bit more versatile, but I do want to see if it encourages aggression.
Yep, proactivity, aggression, that will be the tick in the box to at least make it work. At least give it an honest shot at working. Gentlemates, see how huddled they are. They're almost anticipating that sort of thing here on the pistol round. No overcommitment just yet from KC. Drone potentially going to clear Aves out of this position, but Martin actually wins out in mid. He's found 2.
Zipan tries to pull it back from the brink, but finding 2 is exceptional. Massive value on that. Where do they go from here, though? This feels a little adrift, a little bit left out to shore. Real intent behind it. They're losing map space. You look over towards A-Long. Sadak's already taken that away from them.
Pop and Bean as well. Later into this round, potentially in a retake scenario, Sugetsu still has the paranoia.
30 seconds left.
A big tool available. Canada actually respectively as well, on the other side does. Still a trip, so this will be noted at least before Gentlemates can find their way onto site. No resistance on the way in. See, actually, probably going to buy some time for Sadak. He's all the way in towards attacker spawn here. Kamek got to be careful in the smoke.
Oh, but the paranoia! They used it just to take down Aves, really, and they get away.
Yes, Sugetsu's is burnt up as well. Almost wasted in that exchange.
Surprised they sent it. Sadak's position, though, do they even consider this? His dart could be pivotal, looking at where they're playing. Could put Zipan on the line. But he's not actually utilizing it yet. They're right at the door here. Sadak wanted the surprise over the utility, and it's gone wrong. Gentlemates dig in deep.
On the pistol in the second half here, put themselves 3 rounds ahead now. A beautiful recovery. Martin finding the 2 openers here in the pistol. But Gentlemate's able to turn the tides. And yeah, absolutely perfect. Kamek just in a really, really rough spot there. Only maybe a couple of seconds left on that smoke, but the paranoia was perfect. And like I said, in that exchange, Sugetsu actually sends his back.
I'm genuinely a little surprised he went for it. Maybe just reactionary, maybe feeling that was the opportunity, but certainly didn't find the value he wanted.
Again, it's a split-second decision.
It's been a split second. That ain't bad from Click. Love to see that from his side. No shade, observers, love you. Promise. I felt really passag.
Yeah, it was actually really passag.
And now they're just going to sit on Martin, aren't they? To punish me.
Sit on Click. Despite us.
And they'd never be so cruel. It's just slow and steady for Gentlemates.
Yeah, nothing here on C site. Maybe Elite will get across. He's making moves. Even so, only classics for KC here. Right, actually, you had to retrieve this orb over towards A-Long, actually. And to Martin. We'll get him 1 closer. Chance for an early ultimate for him, but plant comes through now and feels pretty awkward with nobody actually up close and personal here.
This is rough to find any way back in from him. And his utility is pretty good, depending on the timing when he checks towards that camp.
But this is another situation, though, like the first half, that they're starting at a deficit, losing the pistol and round 2. Again, it's Phoenix kind of thrives in that momentum, right? You get the ultimate online early, maybe potentially for round 3, and you can run away. It's an extra body to throw on a trade, and all of those factors out the window once again for the second half. They can find the recovery in the 3rd round, sure. Again, in terms of, I don't even want to say win conditions, the comfortable way that you play in Phoenix from ahead, you can thrive in that scenario. Not just ahead in terms of rounds, but also if your Phoenix is finding value, finding kills time and time again.
We haven't
And
seen that.
we've just not seen it.
I mean, Aves has 4 kills. This has not looked like a comfortable agent for him. Doesn't feel like it's being played into too heavily either, really. But how do you really
How do you play
into
into
it?
Phoenix? Yeah,
There isn't like a way to set it
You kind
up
of have
so
to stand
much.
on your own 2 feet.
Yep. And
Again, we saw a couple of examples, well, a couple of examples, I think one actually, the A-site execute where you have that 1-2 punch with Martin and Aves. The running back comes through, I believe it was actually Zipan on the other side, things that's isolated after the drone, but like I said, that's kind of it.
Yeah, that's your lot. Right. This, if there's going to be a round to really get into for KC, it's got to be this one. And Click, though, is trying to draw all the eyes towards that seaside.
I mean, Fake almost paying off. It pulled at least 2 out of 3 of the members out of A's side. Actually, on the other side, Sadak overstepping the mark massively.
Because it's so indicative, they're looking for information. Him trying to re-aggress down long so they speed up and they get that plant in. Now it could be a quick kind of retake here. They're tempted by it. Aves trying to set it up. Nice from him. Approaching well. Good clear towards Hell. They've got the side back. Now look at the positioning zone. Can Click do anything in time? Can Kamek do anything with time here? The flash, he eats it. He absolutely eats it. And now you got the smokes. Now you got the util. Now you can have Click getting one, but one ain't enough. The defuse is there. Great from KC, speeding things up themselves on the way back through.
You see Sadak drifting into that space to try and backfill. And like I said, they sold the Fake. They pulled 2 players off this A-site hold. But the flood comes through, and it's beautiful this time around. Martin with another 2 kills. This time around, will garner a round victory off it. So the recovery is there. 3rd round in favor of Carmine Court. So keeping their head above water here, Lauren.
Necessary. That was up against the bonus, now the full buy. Ooh, and again, looking to try and get involved here, but look at Kamek, but look at Martin! Beautiful back-to-back shots. Kamek and Kata go down. Control garnered, and the A-site looking a little harder to take than they'd want.
3v4 for Gentlemates. Click called upon potentially. Sadak only with the Guardian, but won't be overwhelmed here. That's Martin as well, but Click isolating one.
They don't know about Martin. Do they still try and
Do they
clear this
re-clear this?
diligently? I feel like you don't. Oh, they tried, but Martin is so clean today. Couldn't outdo Mini in the end, but right there is Sugetsu to add the full stop.
Looking a little more like that iconic Sugetsu closeout. Now back-to-back for KC here. 9-7 now. Gentlemates will still have some funds to invest, but let's see what the purchase does look like. Yeah, between Martin and Sugetsu, looking pretty crispy now in some of these rounds.
We were saying there was no real standout player, but Sugetsu and Martin are really picking up that mantle, right? They're leading that. You got Martin kind of as the start, and then Sugetsu as the close. Lovely if they can keep that going. That's perfect. Still got a couple of rounds to make up here, though. And still a buy to be played with Gentlemates. Yeah, there's that Guardian in play, but the rest still looking likely. Martin again with an opener. He is starting to look deadly here. Value found once again.
This time around, though, not hook, line, and sinker. Still got a tripwire outside B. Sadak still filling that space towards A long. KC happy to just stack up here on their side of garage.
Oh, it's going to be an absolute massacre in there. Again, Sugetsu. Anyone else going to try and join in? Nah. Aves goes down. That looked weird as anything. And now 3v3. Zipan looking nasty. The spike coming back on over because he's overdoing this, overly succeeding near on. They know about Martin now.
Gentlemates still with a little bit of time and still a gap, actually. Sadak exploring towards B now.
He's gone out of here, though. Martin's still trying to linger around.
Yeah. Wants another one.
Trying to get him back to a 2v2. What he wants, he gets. And they're trying to find a fight. Look at this plant position here. Sadak trying to get a bit of info. You ain't going to get much from that now. Reposition going to come in. Where do they opt for? Can't fall far. They look towards garage, but it's not the place. It's CT. Martin steps forward, looks for a fight. He's got it. Martin is vicious today. What a beautiful round.
So he was at some point still kind of trailing behind with Aves numerically, but now, for the last few rounds, what, three two pieces, maybe another 3K on top of that.
One enemy remaining.
Definitely found his footing here on Haven now. Top of the board for KC. Will force a timeout here, actually. Again, maybe a little bit concerning to lose 3 on the bounce here in the second half, but there's been a real change in terms of pace and in terms of commitment to taking these engagements that we didn't actually see in the first half from Carmine Court.
No, you're right, but there's also to be said that Martin's just had some absolutely stellar rounds, right? It's hard to kind of characterize at some points, but at the end of the day, he's been getting 4 kills in these sort of affairs. Now, for the other side of Gentlemates, you're looking at a couple of ults coming through, 2 big uns already online. You've got Zipans and Clicks. Then you're one off from Kamix.
Yeah, Kamix
You've
one
got
away.
a massive hand to be played in just a moment. So this is the one where they've got to find that fight, and if you've got an ace up the sleeve, you bring it out now.
Concern being, Carmine Court have built up a little bit of a buffer. An elite down on 300, but not necessarily too concerning. Well, they'll be able to ride that through here. I mean, Aves now on the run it back, building towards the TP for Sugetsu, but again, in a retake scenario, that Aves' ultimate is really, really pivotal or valuable potentially. More curious now of coming out of the timeout, what the decision is from Gentlemates. Heavy emphasis towards A this time around. Haven't necessarily seen this take towards long. Only really been Sadak here, and I think actually a byproduct of that is why we see him kind of on an island.
Got walkabouts on the other side of the map too. So space is there, and you can probably see that causing Sadak to sit a little bit safer, call for some support, because they have that unchallenged position down C long. But this pacing from Gentlemates isn't quick.
And actually coming back outside B now to potentially deal with the trip. Not necessarily a commitment just yet, but maybe looking to leapfrog off an opener if they can find it. TP will come through. Actually, Click can't deal with the trip, but lucky not to get punished.
Yeah, I thought he was done for. Not the case. We're going to see a lot of those ults coming in. Kada makes light work to get so he gets caught. Just trying to get away, but a quick run towards C, but we saw it earlier. Martin, the man you want to avoid, tucked away down C long. Now they're going to try and pressure CT on the other side of things, so a bit of split focus to be had here. Click going to pop the ult, but he gets outdone. Aves, Martin's trying to find some damage. He can't turn the flash. Zipan could be in a huge position, though. He's got so much work ahead of him. Takes away Sadak. Still 2 more to claim if he wants a chance. Oh, he's got another! But the big man himself, Martin, has been a monster, and he's not losing this one either.
KC to tie things up here in a chaotic exchange over on C site. Very quick pivot actually out of B. Said Click's lucky not to lose his life. First real value we've seen from the run it back as well in terms of denying that rotation. Actually following up and finding 3 on the round for Aves. Much needed. Maybe building upon that momentum that Martin's now established. Certainly some more confidence in some of these scenarios from KC. Gentlemates will be humbled now in terms of the finances as well.
I love this stack too. Probably going to cast a curse it, but I like the idea. Maybe feeling that Gentlemates felt they had an advantage. Here it is. It's gorgeous. Oh!
2 for 2 though. That's not great.
No, with stingers.
Sugetsu down to 70 as well.
Sadak!
Okay.
He's just digging in. This is a 1v2 and Mini. He can get a gun out of this.
He can get a gun. He's got his ultimate as well.
Spike is a bit of an issue, but it's not impossible. Info time. Mini, he is dangerous. He is really dangerous, but not dangerous enough today. KC just really continuing this march now. Back in, taking the lead away from Gentlemates.
A great conversion. It almost looked like it could have slipped through their fingers here. Like I said, a 2 for 2 outside this smoke on A long, and it's Sadak to find the follow-up.
I have all the ribs, baby. I have all the ribs. Don't...
And yeah, you even noted the stack. Absolutely at the right time here for KC. Only 2 away from the ultimate for Elite, but everything else available now. Saw a similar situation in the first half and kept crediting how frugal KC were in their approach. See, there's just so many more tools available. Now with Aves getting a couple of kills in some of these rounds, another run it back already. Felt like there's a real gap in between them on the first half.
Spotting one. What's the reaction? Nothing. No rotation. He's happy to stick around here. Normally we've seen him getting a little bit more cautious. This absence of presence should be ringing the alarm bells. Does Sadak get to survive?
Gotta be careful now, yeah.
Okay, he's out of there. That's fine. You take that. Play for the retake, I guess. You do have the ults for it now. Martin there, Sadak there. You got Aves as well. Find me some targets, find me some bodies. They're throwing everything at this. If Gentlemates survive, it'd be a miracle. They've already denied Aves getting any more damage done. Martin with a quick readjust down towards long. They're pinned on the site, and Martin is taking their heads off. It's KC just mangling Gentlemates down to just Kamik. Overwhelmed, outdone, everything poured in.
Brimming with confidence now. And this conversion, absolutely not afraid to invest some of these ultimates. Maximum value as well. I mean, actually, even coming out of that, Aves still in a good position afterwards. Even considering the investment here. Again, finds 3.
You're so good, bro. I love you so much.
And actually finds the defuse as well, so already building back towards another run it back.
And what a night and day swing up from Aves. He was down almost 4 kills for so long. Yeah. Now up on 14, just second on the board to Martin. That confidence there, that support there, it all seems to be lining up for them. 6 rounds now, back to back for KC. Finding boatloads of comfort. And for Gentlemates, still no solution in sight.
Sadak's still here on a long. This time around, Gentlemates was looking to make a contact play up, but Sadak, he smells something fishy. Sugetsu as well. Want to find Zipan.
Oh, that's risky.
Actually, click. Oh no, he's fumbled. The paranoia just catching at the right time.
God, that is unreal. That thought, it
That's
looked like a
so unlucky, so unlucky.
Who's waiting? It's just sat down here if they try and escape. Martin. And with the seconds of silence that tick over towards 8, the more focused he becomes. Gentlemates may fancy that pivot towards B. They may fancy that walk towards C long. It's not without a challenger, a player waiting, striking.
Good, man.
Oh, an in-zone flawless. KC, this second half has been beautiful.
Night and day from what we saw on the first. A string of rounds to their name. Just one away from taking this map 1 now. Said Martin coming alive. A ridiculous amount of multi-kills for him in the second half. And yeah, a real shift in the energy down to some of these player cams as well. The purchase will come through some gaps for Gentlemates, understandably so. Sadak has done a brilliant job. Almost puffer fishing out on A long here, but also being the one to really toe the line in terms of peeling back, allowing that, or conceding some of that space, and commanding the rotation as well.
Who gets the multi? Aves on for 2, 3. You still got presence down towards long if they try and creep up. Martin here, ready to get out if he needs to. Play the support card. But for now, he waits. This time he doesn't get it. Mini outdoes him. And Aves up with the challenge. Oh, it's going to be Aves with the double. Sugetsu going to be blind. Just going to try and take the TP out for now. Get some safety. Spike collected, and Gentlemates with the pause now.
Do you actually have a trip this time around as well towards A long, so Sadak can give up the site as well. Actually going to be in a position to hear these steps. He's relaying that information now.
It feels like Sadak's had his finger on the pulse this game, the rotations, the stacks, the approach. But does he land the shot? He doesn't. Kamik super quick with that. 30 seconds. And Sugetsu, I mean, that's a little wild.
You might as well.
A crack, I guess, but it is still going to be 10 rounds for Gentlemates, unless Elite
Spike planted.
get the job done. 9 kills for him. This would be a lot. Dealt with. Waiting for the player to peak, but no one's playing to the tune that he
Gentlemate's
wants.
just going to tuck. Don't want to risk giving away these rifles potentially. Yeah, Malik can get
lovely.
anything.
Oof, okay, 10.
A 4K for Kamek as well. Puts him one away from the Rolling Thunder. A big tool available potentially for Gentlemates. Click. Very close to his, but Zipan does have a Hunter's Fury, so in terms of these kind of playmakers,
Oh,
30 seconds left.
shot from
Sadak just got, yeah, absolutely clotheslined on that swing. And Sugetsu may be thinking that he's going to catch a timing on somebody. Operator actually comes out for Martin now. Will be a big shift potentially in the pacing of the early round. Whether or not he's going to drift down C immediately.
Mini. Melted on that. Down to only 24 HP in a blink of an eye. Look at the line he's got with that operator, just down long. So dedicated to it. There's...
Got to be careful.
That's not quite good enough. Mini has been keeping presence here. Now, it feels like Sadak's probably going to be able to supersede this, but I want to see where the rest of Gentlemates now want to head.
Got time, got space to work
Sadak.
with.
He's not done this before.
See whether or not he's going to be cleared immediately here or given an opportunity.
Oh.
She lines up Kamek sharp on it though. Dealt with.
Okay, quick rotations coming in. Smoke's going to go up. We're going to be able to disrespect that. Sugetsu, can you hold the line? Can you stop what they've started? No. Click quick with it. And already the side under pressure. Suddenly the punish. And you're going to be saving. Have Gentlemates brought this back from the brink? 11 rounds soon to be had.
30 seconds left.
Concern being as well, this will give Mini his ultimate, but the Rolling Thunder and the Hunter's Fury available for round 24. Huge ultimates at Gentlemate's disposal. This operator all but mitigated here. Unnoted yet. I don't think anybody would have realized, but obviously they're going to know he's going to be saving something. Whether or not KC can kind of capitalize on that in the next round as well.
And I guess it becomes that mind game of where do you put it, right? We've had a couple of rounds trying to exploit that side.
Not necessarily found anybody swinging onto him on these deep explorations down on C long. Again, previously I think he was tucked in for a retake at some point, maybe got 1 kill, but yeah, Gentlemates have definitely been on the ball in terms of damage control early on. Aves, unfortunately, whether or not it felt as if they were going to be able to dig out this lurk, but it almost feels a little solo to drift down sewers that way.
Forward. You saw that?
No.
But KC with a timeout. Now, historically, Eng had one of the highest conversions out of a timeout statistically. Kind of nuts. Now, I don't know if that's actually held true now into kind of the more recent days, but he's a little bit dangerous with it. Now, I'm looking at the ults that KC have as well. Still got Elite, so that's not exactly an instigator. Aves has his.
Yeah, I mean, Martin 2 off his as well, so still definitely opportunities here for KC. But with the ability to almost sweep out a site with Kamek's ultimate, unless you have, I mean, the running back, sure, it's great in the retake, but you don't necessarily at this stage of the second half want to be sitting back and playing retake. Zipan also has a very, very big tool in terms of a late post plant for Gentlemates as well.
See where they put the operator as well, because the temptation.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, yeah.
But then obviously, if you're Gentlemates, you go. That's obviously the solution they're going to go for is to reinforce A. So now we go C. Right? It's that little like mind game that goes on. Yeah, and it looks like they are reinforcing A with it. But
it actually looks like Sadak's going to swing with him, potentially drone him out. But you see, actually on the other side, Gentlemates are stacked up now for a C site hit. Fortunately, Martin just unable to be in the right place at the right time with this operator so far.
A stun to back sight. All goes up. And that preemptive Hunter's Fury just to secure maybe the cross. Don't think he got a connection,
connection,
from this. So pure retake here. Unless they decide to go early, which I'd highly doubt.
You do have the Rolling Thunder to sit back on as well.
Here we go. This is it. Ult's coming in. Paranoia finds 3. That is beautiful, but they can't gap close. They can't get there in time. They've been held at the door, and you're retaking with an operator. It ain't going to be easy. They've dealt with the first wave of utility. They put a smoke back up. They're putting theirs on now. Gentlemates stemming the bleeding and holding them back for the trades. Kana, outstanding impact in that one. And Gentlemates handling KC like they're nothing.
What a response to force overtime here. Close out the last 3 rounds of this half. Almost beckoning that 14-12 scoreline once again. It'd be heartbreak to let this one slip through their fingers.
How many in a row?
For KC. 7, yeah. Next, it was 9-5. Yeah, this is beautiful. And again, there's no flank coming through. Very, very comfortable for Gentlemates to just post up. The Rolling Thunder basically completely negating that run it back. Because you know the flood's coming behind that. That's the body on the front line, the trade in hand effectively.
It's OT, 12-12. This time around, reset your minds. Gentlemates on the defending side, KC on the attack. We had a quiet Martin here, but this is a different look to him now. He'd warmed up, he looked better. Oh,
the jump.
A mistake. A real fumble on that, and Sugetsu will greet that with a smile every day. But it's just a battle in mid. It's a bit of a brawl. But it's not just a solo affair, it's breaking out across the map. It settles into this 3v2 with a quick run towards C. But my eyes are still looking towards Martin here, tucking in towards that B site, that late lurk potential in play.
He's looking to do damage here. Get behind potentially Mini in transition. Now, does Mini clear him? He's looking towards mid. Surely not.
Hey. Yeah, nice try, nice enough.
I mean, it's rough. He actually swings on the other side to hard clear that, but Martin doesn't miss those.
This is feeling over, especially with this plant. Oh. It's all right, Sadak. You've got uses elsewhere. Ah, yeah, Zipan. It's a horrible position to be in, just watching the clock tick away, really. But Martin to seal it. And a real difference maker this time. 3 kills here. 2 very impactful ones as well.
It's in at 26 and 16. By the way, Kamek's still ahead of that at 29 and 15.
Madness,
so,
isn't it? Kamek's
even said Kamek looked fantastic even in that loss versus Foot.
Yes.
Felt like he was the best player in the lobby. Not around though. The resurgence from Martin. Definitely the headline here for Haven. Can they get this one across the line now? Operator out once again for Martin. And it's similar, actually, carbon copy from what we saw from the end of regulation now. Going to get him posted up on that deep angle on sewers. Gentlemates try and sell this fake on C.
Yeah, but if he sticks around on this, that is lovely stuff. They've got enough behind it. Yeah, Martin is going to take away Zipan. That's enough of a warning sign. A site's not available. We've got to go elsewhere. It does make it harder to get towards these sites now without Zipan there to allow for it.
It's still a trip to playoff here. Click. Very hesitant to force the issue here. You do still have Arvez to complement this hold from Elite as well.
Are they contacting this?
I think they are.
It's kind of worked. The smoke went towards long that obviously I don't think was even noted. But there's so many bodies for KC here. The curiosity is going to get the better of them at some point. Yeah, they're already looking towards CT, right? They're like, yeah, we can hear you now. Here we go. But Kamek is so close. Oh, I thought he got away from that. Arvez, quick punish. Kamek goes down. The raid boss for Gentlemates is removed. Now Sugetsu looking to get into the board as well. Click, Mini, Kata getting a little bit of a fight back with the numbers. Simply favorable. KC now on the verge. All on one. Mini has to be a monster. Nice try. But Sadak is there, composure key. And that second half, Mike, was night and day.
Absolutely. The comeback from KC to really find their footing on the second half on the defense was what got them across the line.
It did, and we'll be back after this.